Hi. So today I want to talk about the full moon in March. Being in Libra, it is a lot of focus on relationships and balance. And I want to talk about not just your current relationships. Of course, the full moon is really good for calling things in. It's a great time to manifest. It's a great time to also do a lot of releasing. I do a lot of work on releasing when it comes to the full moon. I always personally find it very heavy for me. So this is a great time to kind of just like put my thoughts and things on paper, burn it, let it go, and then work towards what I do want to bring in into my life. And being that it is Libra and it is about balance a lot and things, this is a good time for you to kind of focus on the relationships that you need healing around. But not just that, I always talk about how the longest relationship you have is the one with yourself, and that is the key and root to all other relationships. So today's meditation is going to be talking more about that. So I just want to talk about that relationship right now, because I'm sure you've heard that you can't love others until you love yourself, or another thing that I often will talk about is filling your cup first. So I can't pour from an empty cup. And I feel like a lot of us want to do things like when you see somebody hurting, you just want to go and give them a hug and do whatever to make them feel better. How come we don't have that same mentality when it comes to our own self-worth, our own self-care? So you might be feeling really drained, but instead of like wanting to nurture that, you get into these constant ways of thinking, and you let your ego get in there, and limiting beliefs get in the way. So it's so important to retreat and knowing and finding ways to love being in your own space. Because if you can't value your own time and your own space, then how are others going to be reciprocating the same way, right? And sensing that in your energy. So retreating increases spiritual space and enables you to be more receptive and more aware, and that is why meditation is one of the biggest tools when it comes to that, because messages may come in or not, and you have to silence the brain in order to let those messages come through. It's also where your intuition comes, right? So today I pulled a card earlier and I wanted to share because it was called Stargazing, and I just found it beautiful because look, she's actually staring right at the moon, and today being a full moon and everything, I just thought that was beautiful. So the card's message says here, when you gaze at the stars, you give yourself fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. So often when you're in a dilemma or a situation in your life, we tend to, or so often when you're in a situation in your life, or when you see others in a situation in life, it's always easier for us to give advice seeing it from the opposite, from the outside perspective. So that's what journaling and meditation does for you too. So if you kind of take yourself out of the situation and reflect and let things to flow, almost like you are trying to nurture yourself like you would someone else, things will come in clearly from that perspective. And that is why I do the work that I do. So today's meditation, we're going to just be doing a little bit of expanding your awareness outward or inner, but like from a different outer perspective, and reflecting, stargazing, and really feeling the energy of the moon, really focusing and calling upon the things that you do wish into your life, and releasing what no longer serves you. Letting go is one of the biggest tools in my work that I do, and like I'm constantly just speaking about it because it is so big. because often we carry a lot on our shoulders that we don't need to carry. For example, I'm going to give you this kind of different way of thinking about it. So think about if you were walking up a mountain, and every step of the way you're carrying a backpack, right? And you find a rock here and there. And in order to keep moving or forward, you just keep on grabbing a rock, putting it in your backpack. You grab a rock, putting it in your backpack. Don't you think the further up ahead in that mountain, in that hike, it's gonna get heavier. It's gonna get heavier and heavier until you just kind of collapse. And you can't get to the top like that. So what you wanna do is we weave and we go through things in your life, and you have to learn to take and release what isn't ours, because often we carry things that are literally not ours to carry. And a lot of that is the limiting beliefs that we have created, and a lot of those belief systems and things that kind of keep you from moving forward into what you want and what you want to manifest into your life is because you're constantly telling yourself that you can't, you're not worth it or something. And that's not to your fault of your own. It's just experiences that have gotten you there. So recognizing where those beliefs, where those habits come from, and putting that on paper and releasing and accepting that you are saying that you accept, you are no longer accepting that as your reality. So once you start to weave and release and let go of these things, then you can make it to the top of the mountain. You literally are a godlike self. You are a creator of your life. And this is one of the biggest things for you to get to where you want to be. I am hoping I'm making sense. I like how I make notes and things, so I'm looking down at my notes, but I always end up going into tangents of other things that I wasn't expecting to do. So, a relationship with ourselves, learning to come from a place of gratitude and learning to enjoy our own beautiful presence is key, everybody. So whatever that looks like for you, whatever you want to bring into your life, start looking for things about yourself or about your partner. If you want to do the work on your certain relationship or a certain relationship, maybe it's your mother, your parent, like your sibling, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, start looking at the things that you are grateful for in that relationship, that you are grateful for it within you, what you bring to the table and what others give you, the whole receiving and giving of the situation. Start looking at and living from a place of gratitude, letting go things that you cannot control, because those are rocks you don't need to bring to keep carrying around with you. Things of the past that you need to let go, because again, that's in the past and you don't need to bring it into your future to get to the top of the mountain. Okay, so I want you to pause this before getting into the meditation and just reflect on what we've talked about here. I'll give you a couple prompts so you can kind of pause and as I say, but a prompt that you could use is, what beliefs have I developed up until this point? How have these beliefs or habits served me in the past? Do they still serve you? What can I do to develop healthier beliefs and habits? And what do you truly need right now? And then another thing that I would like you to practice before or after this meditation is get just a blank piece of paper and write down the things that you are no longer accepting in your life, that you want or wish to release. Maybe that's something that's hurting you in your personal relationship with yourself from your past that you wish to put on paper and burn. Maybe that's someone that hurt you that you're still holding on to. Write them a letter if you want. That could be a really good practice. Certain feelings that you're having towards someone, you can write those down, and I encourage you to burn that. Once you've written that, encourage you to burn it, release it, imagine it just going, no longer being a thing. And then when you're ready, come back and do your meditation. And I love that you have this on here, this platform, because then you can come back to it after doing the journaling, whatever. You can do the meditation later before bed or whatnot, under the moonlight. I hope this has served you. I hope you've gathered and gotten something from this. And thank you so much for following. And happy full moon.